where football experts from around the world share practical and updated knowledge with the FSI community.
Welcome to FSI Talk, where the best experts in the world come together to talk about football. My name is Alberto Fílter, FSI Lab Manager, and I will be the host of this talk. Today, we are talking about 360 performance system. Modern professional football is much more than coaches, fitness coaches, physios, and medical staff. Great companies with a wide organization that should be synchronized to obtain the main goal, achieve the best performance of football player. Today, we are going to talk about the 360 degrees performance system, the permanent coordination within the club, communication to improve performance management, and player lifestyle, and more topic. To talk about that, we have with us Igor Jukic, is full professor at Faculty of Kinesiology in the University of Zagreb, director of Croatian High Performance Sports Center at Croatian Olympic Committee, and member of FSI faculty. Thank you so much, Igor, and welcome.
Thank you for invitation, and just to say hello for all participants in this our meeting, students, teachers, and other people, wherever they are.
Nice. It's nice having you here in this podcast. And the first question, Igor, is if could you show us a little review of your professional and academic achievements?
Yes, shortly. Then I am full professor at Faculty of Kinesiology, University of Zagreb. My classes are training theory and methodology and strength and conditioning. Then in last 3 years, I am director of Croatian High Performance Sports Center at Croatian Olympic Committee. It's a pretty demanding and challenging job, challenging first of all, but blessed job. And also I have some experience, my general experience is related to team sports, but I have also some experiences with top level athletes in combat sports, in tennis. This new role as director of Croatian High Performance Sports Center gave me a lot of opportunities to learn from different sports, and really it's a big privilege. Also related to football, I worked with Croatian football national team until now with my company Bio Training. We are last 10 years inside of Croatian Football Federation with all national teams, even young categories. And also I have some experience in Spain, also with Deportivo Alavés. I was head of performance in Baskonia Alavés group. It was pretty interesting job, unique job to be head of performance for both sports, basketball and football. Also some experience in Dinamo Zagreb Academy, famous academy, and football club CSKA Moscow. And of course, I'm so proud for my experience related to personal work with top level athletes, first of all, football players, a lot of Croatian national team members. And this all was a privilege and great experience for me. And now I have opportunity to share my knowledge, to exchange my knowledge in Football Science Institute as a worldwide game changer.
Absolutely. It's amazing, your background. I say always that it's hybrid background, experience, practical, academic knowledge, and a wide range of different sports. That this gives you a very full perspective of the high performance. And let's talk about that. Could you briefly explain for that people that doesn't know that what is the 360 degree personal jacket performance system?
Yeah, it's one interesting topic, title of one paper we published with a fantastic group of people, more or less high performance people from different sports. And as you know, high performance team sports became an individual discipline. Why we should care about balance between individual and team needs. And in the central position of this job is personalized care, but personalized care in holistic way, surrounding this service around teams, around players, with 360 degrees different integrative and interdisciplinary approach. Finally, the most important is in concrete practical work, how to design personalized matrix for each player, which is consisted of different domains, different characteristics of players, and of course, what is the history, what is a current state, what are the goals, what we would like to achieve, establish in close and far future, and how to do that and how to control and evaluate that. In simple words, but that is about 360 degrees. Of course, different systems have different approaches to 360 degrees, but more or less, let's say in this way, monodisciplinarity is something what we already forgotten. Multidisciplinarity is behind us. Interdisciplinarity is something what we are living now, and this phenomenon or new project in worldwide way is transdisciplinarity. What does it mean? System-based, central position of teams and players, and then always is higher goal to care about performance and health of one player is above domains. That is the sense. No silos, then holistic approach, integrative approach to every single player, to team, and to make a fantastic service to coaches who are, of course, final decision makers in our systems.
Absolutely. Igor, for you, what is the country that have developed more this type of system? What is for you the top 3 countries that have this type of
Well,
system?
it's not easy to say, but we are lucky that we can learn from different systems from different countries, different based on different cultural and high performance histories in sport. For example, we have fantastic clubs in Great Britain, in Spain. We have NBA, who is always some kind of game changer in world of high performance sport. Of course, Australia and New Zealand, they have some new approaches. Now we have Canada as most propulsive sport country in the world. Generally, we can say, yes, we are lucky to live in this time, this propulsive time, this enthusiastic time, and that we can learn from many different systems. It's not easy to say this one is the best, because if one is the best, this one will follow and achieve fantastic results in 10 or 15 or 20 years. It's not like that. Even Real Madrid cannot win 2 years in a row.
Okay, and with the quantity of departments, areas that the clubs have, for you, what departments should be within the clubs and what department can be externalized of the club?
Yeah, if possible, every single club should have all necessary departments: medical, strength and conditioning, recovery, nutrition, psychology, lifestyle, well-being, performance analysis. But if we don't have sufficient conditions, sufficient amount of money and other conditions for realizing this idea, we can say some of departments we can have as outsource or external service. For example, sometimes sports psychologists can be from outside, can be outsourced, or nutritionist or nutritional support. Even sometimes some specific medical support is always from outside, some specific specialization, because it's too expensive, it's not economic to some club to have it all.
And talking about a specific department, for example, research and development, you know that becomes an important part of any company. Clubs are agreement with university, laboratories, and other research department. In an elite context, do you consider important to have a research and development department?
Yes, if possible, to have people who are only engaged in research and development. But is that realistic? I'm not sure. We have two possible approaches. First, to have external outsourcing service, which can help us in some specific fields, but ordering on request fields, on request tasks and purposes, how they can help us in some specific needs what we have. But another option or approach is to consider all our performance specialists as parts of research and development. What does it mean? For example, sports science. Sports science has a wide range of different interpretations in high-performance sport, okay? For example, we can consider sports scientist as a person who's delivering some knowledge to all performance fields, okay? He is part or he is member of a department of research and development. But we can consider every single performance specialist as a sports scientist because they can produce science if they are connected with some research institutes or organizations or universities, or they can be as a consumer of sports scientific evidence-based or evidence-informed knowledge. Then worlds today has no agreement or same page how to consider sports scientists and research and development. But the most important thing, research and development, sports science also is fantastic tool for everyday work, everyday life in high performance environment. That is for sure. And we should invest a lot in science, in knowledge, but applied knowledge and be rational in this process to have on request from final consumers. Who are the final consumers? First of all, head coaches. Then final consumers are players. And who are the service people? It's about performance specialists, medical doctors, strength conditioning coaches, recovery specialists, nutritionists, psychologists, and other people involved. That is sports science, yes. Research and development, yes. But for all and from the all.
Yeah. Do you mean that? Do you believe more in this hybrid concept between strength and conditioning and this sports scientist role with this mixed role to apply on the fire that isolates, for example, a sports scientist?
Yes. According to this, what I mentioned previously, to this transdisciplinary approach, to this integrative and holistic approach, from my point of view, this is the future. The future is not to separate people, then to form some kind of renaissance people who can produce knowledge, collect knowledge, and consume knowledge. And finally, of course, apply this knowledge in one person. This is my point of view. It's not easy for one person, but this is the best way how to reach this integrative and holistic approach.
Yes, absolutely. It's very difficult to have updated about all knowledge, about data visualization, about statistic, about strength conditioning methods. It's very difficult, but this concept, I think that is the future because you can have very pills about anyone, But
and if you have skills
exactly
to consume this knowledge and to collect this knowledge from other people, you will be in situation must to simplify and must to apply this knowledge. If no, you know what is the problem? A lot of data you cannot use, a lot of knowledge you cannot read or consume. And this situation, when you are in position to be alone in your performance specialization, to have to consume and collect different knowledges and then make decision making process inside of the real world, that is what is maybe the most important self-development tool.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And given the new departments in the clubs, what areas are for you overrated and which are underrated? I mean, what department do you consider more and less crucial?
Yeah. If we are on same page with idea of integration and transdisciplinarity, integrative approach, there is no overrated spaces and departments, for sure. Sometimes we can be jealous on some other people inside of the club, inside of the organization, but finally, we will be strongly aware how all people are important and how all people can be useful. When we are talking about underrated department in many different high-performance systems, I can say lifestyle or well-being, welfare department. Just a few big organizations have this kind of department. Why it is important? Because players, athletes spend with us just a few amount of time per day. Even during the traveling, they are spending in traveling or in their rooms, you know, in their free time, much more time than with us. If we have influence, not control, because control can be very, very sensitive, but influence by education to players, to have some kind of nice, polite, educational influence to them, to care about themselves, to develop themselves, to use these 20 or 18 hours per day in efficient way, to be better in one sentence, to be better on the pitch, doing activities out of pitch. And I think this is an important topic for future of high performance sport and high performance football. Those who will have more influence for this time, these 20 hours, will take advantage in future.
Yeah, I always talk about that, the training, the football player habits. And let's talk about that. As you know, as you say, squad training duration used to be 2 or 3 hours each day. How could the club manage player lifestyle? I mean, the rest of the 20 hours.
Yeah, there is some approaches, different approaches in different clubs. But first of all, we should give to players service and care in clubs in most possible and effective way. Okay, this is first part of our job. Then, influence of players' behavior in private time, in personal time. With this topic, we should be very careful. Why? Because in some big associations, sport association, they have a collective contract. From this collective contract, it comes to us that we cannot reach private time. That is why it is pretty sensitive. And what we have opportunity to have influence by education, by some extra activities, or, for example, homeworks, to provoke and to inspire players to do performance homework at home. It's not only about training, it's about sleep, it's about nutrition, it's about social life, it's about rest time and generally recovery. It's about free time and how to use it for intellectual work or intellectual benefits. There is a lot of different opportunities and tools for designing performance homework, and in that case, we can have more influence on this 20 hours time. And then if we have influence, we will take advantage.
Yeah. Do you think that this work should be optional or should be mandatory, have a must for the player?
If we create ambience and culture, it comes from optional to not mandatory, then for the option, the only option. I can tell you an example from Croatian Football Federation. 10 years ago, when we started to do morning training, optional morning training in Croatian football national team. Because before that, nobody, once per day, they are practicing, more or less in afternoon, and morning is free, okay? 1, 2, or 3 players were activated in some way. But later, or 10 years later, we have some kind of culture of individual personal work. Almost all from 26 players now, they are preparing for Eurocup. They are engaged in some kind of personal work. How we did it, how we made it? By time per time, easy way, polite way, with education, creating a culture with more experienced players, like Luka Modric, for example, and then younger players accepting this kind of culture. And what does it mean? No obligation, no mandatory, but everybody are there. Why? Because they recognize their interest inside of this kind of work. If we can do in this way to provoke ambience or to create ambience, and ambience and culture will provoke players, this is the top end of our job.
Okay, let's talk about that, education, and about communication and relationship. Everyone talks about communication between department, communication with a player, but fewer people give ideas to apply. As an expert on the topic, Igor, could you provide to our audience a real implementable ideas to improve the communication between player and between different departments?
Yes, there is a scientific discipline related to communicational skills, okay? And communicology, of course. I'm not expert of communicology. I'm trying to learn from the practice and from the general sources of knowledge about the communication. But first of all, I'm trying to learn from protagonists. Who are the protagonists? Presidents, sport directors, head coaches, and players, main protagonists, especially head coaches and players. Sometimes we are trying as a university people, academic people, to design some models from the theoretical point of view, and sometimes those models are pretty far from reality. That is the reason why I try with my team of people inside of High Performance Center and University of Zagreb, let's try to learn from real protagonists. Let's try to learn from players and coaches. Let's try to see what they need in these communication skills, and then to help them with all knowledge we have. For example, just to be concrete, communication first. we should recognize, we should see what are the challenges in communication. Different situations, different ambiances, different cultures have different challenges. Let's talk about three in my cases. First, Croatian football national team. I told you some examples. Second, Baskonia Alves, 2 clubs and academies, 34 people in my department. Can you imagine challenges? Yes, probably you can. 34 people, different specialization inside of 2 sports and different categories. Then another challenge, high performance sports center, 23 different sports with top level athletes in different sports. Can you imagine the way of communication with them? Different profiles. They have something common, okay, but different profiles, different sports, different needs, different challenges. And also, we have 13 people inside of counseling of this high performance sports center with 245 medals on Olympics, World and European championships. Can you imagine how challenging? Okay, now when we have when we realize what are the challenges, the next step is, what is the process? The main process is decision making. First decision maker in one club in operative way is coach, head coach. Okay, sport director and presidents also, they have decision making process. But let's talk about this performance and coaching staff. Coaching staff are doing the most important decision making process. And all other people serving to them, helping to them to have as better decisions as possible. Why? Because if they have good decisions, it's good for us, all performance specialists, isn't it? And then third one is about communication skills. We have, of course, let's differentiate soft skills and communication skills. Communication skills are part of different soft skills. And I don't want to speak now about it because we don't have enough time, but invest in your soft skills, and especially investing in your communication skills in everyday life, it's worth, definitely. It's pay off for longer time in advance. And when we are talking about communication skills, just to be concrete, let's talk about 4. Please think. First, when you communicate something, first you need to think about context, isn't it? To know everything around. Then, based on context, you are choosing content of your communication. Then, context, content, plus you have dose. What is dose? Dose is not only volume of your voice. Volume is also your energy, your emotions in communication. If you can control, or to maybe add some emotions in your communication. And finally, very, very important, especially for young people, it's about timing. Timing. Please choose the moment when you will communicate some content based on context and with some dose. Simple, isn't it? Yes, simple to say, but not simple to provide and conduct in everyday life.
Absolutely. And talking about structure and interrelationship of the main stakeholder in a sporting organization, how to establish where each department's role begins and ends?
Yes.
We establish the limits.
Yes. Then let's start from basic topics, which are underrated in many cases. It's about vision and mission, because this is start for every single design, for every single move inside of the high performance system, vision and mission. But let's talk about philosophy. Usually, I'm not talking about Spinoza, Platon, Aristotle, or somebody like that. Philosophy is about main values for building some high performance system. And we are talking about 2 ways of philosophy. First, it's philosophy why, and then philosophy how. Philosophy why is about practitioner philosophy, coaching philosophy, and how is training philosophy, isn't it? And usually students, young coaches are skipping coaching philosophy and passing immediately to how. It is very dangerous. If you don't have a background, if you don't have a solid base of your main philosophy, it's not easy. The same situation is with club, with sporting organization, isn't it? If you don't have clear mission and vision, first club generally, and then based on club's philosophy, mission, vision, values, strategies, then performance department should have it or adjust their philosophies, their approaches, their methodologies to this. This is vertical option. What's about horizontal? Horizontal is related to communication and interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary approach. But in all these systems, one man or person is important. First, head coach, and then head of performance, or heads of different departments' performance. And finally, triple R, rules, roles, responsibilities. Isn't it? Again, easy to say. Again, it's pretty demanding and challenging to provide this simple concept in everyday life. Great challenge. I'm setting the challenge for all, especially young people who are listening to this FSI talk, to face and cope with this challenge. And just one more thing, maybe, when we are talking about this, I don't know if general public is aware of new game-changing projects of FSI. There are two very interesting projects for the future of education. First time in global way, FSI introducing and involving universal module, integrative name, title, integrative high performance environment, with the aim to connect all domains, all stakeholders, and all participants in high performance system to learn what is job of other people around them first, and then how to work together with good communication and with good organization of the system. And second, this is prospective project, first time, unique, first time in global way in the world. FSI is preparing new master, FSI Master High Performance Director in Football. And it will be really game-changing FSI educational program designed for people who will be in charge in their sporting organization for connecting all people, all fields of interest and all field of expertise, and finally to integrate them with one purpose: how to protect health and how to improve performance.
Absolutely, I agree, Igor. With the different names for the same roles and the different roles with the same name, the names that we have: head of performance, fitness coach, sports scientist. What is your opinion or experience about this a wide range of different names for the same role?
Yeah, I can see that, and I consider this phenomenon as a wealth in diversity. Okay, because like we said at the beginning, we have different high performance cultures and philosophies all around the world. For example, culture from former Eastern European countries are totally different in means of names and titles and roles inside of high performance system, comparing to Western countries, for example, Anglo-Saxonic countries like the United States, Great Britain, or Australia and New Zealand. But doesn't matter. This is about diversity, but this is about wealth of knowledge and experiences in building high-performance systems all around the world. Let's find a way how to learn from each other, and let's find a way how we will adjust all these experiences, all this fantastic knowledge in concrete design of particular high-performance system for particular sporting organization. This is about art. Our job is consisted, as we already know, from craft, science, and art. Craft is about methodology. Science is a fantastic tool, and we believe in science and knowledge. And third one is about art, artistic expression of our everyday life. Just one example. When you consider how head coach, who is the main artist, isn't it? He has to be main artist in our environment. How he is making decisions. Based on what? Let's see. First, data we deliver to him, isn't it? Second, some knowledge he has from before or now. Some experience what he has. And the fourth one, for them, sometimes is the most important, intuition. Very often, they are making decisions, but they cannot explain how they did it. And they said, it's about intuition. Intuitively, I decide this, and it was working in good way. Fantastic. Then, what is intuition? This practically explained intuition is about integration. It's about synergy. It's about harmony in decision makers' head, mind, that enable them or him to make appropriate decision. We should not forget that human mind is more complex than we know and than we sometimes consider. And this unexplainable word, harmony, we cannot measure harmony, isn't it? But I like to tell this story about one fantastic scientist from Croatia. He said, in my next life, I'm gonna invent harmony matter. Harmony matter. You and me, we will buy immediately. Harmony matter, come on. Isn't it?
Okay, I would like to talk now about a hot topic, very hot topic to me. It's about talking about the limits, the role of each department. It's about external consultant performance of external personal fitness coach. You know that it's very hot topic for the clubs.
Yeah.
How do you manage, or what is your opinions about this very hot topic?
Yes, it's hot topic, but important topic. I'm going to tell you my opinion and some examples to support this opinion. First of all, first example, I was personal coach for 16 years of Ivica Olic, famous Croatian football name, played for Bayern Munich, Croatian national team, more than 100 caps and fantastic achievements. 16 years in different clubs, different experiences. In 16 years, I didn't have any problem with the club's people. Why? Because my first move was to approach to them by Ivica, by player, and to explain them what we are doing. And then second, or maybe the most important first, I was at that time the service, not only for Ivica, player, then for club also, because club's program is always first. If you are ready to accept that as a personal coach, it's much easier. What is job, second example, what is job of Luka Milanovic, a strength and conditioning coach of Croatian national team last 7 years? His job in this, what I explained, morning time from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, from breakfast to lunch. Players are coming in optional way, facultative way, non-obligatory way, but everybody are coming. More than half of them have personal coaches, but not only personal coaches, personal nutritionists, personal medical doctors, personal physios, personal mental coaches. Many of them, they invest in themselves. Why? Because they realized they don't have enough care in clubs. Why? From objective reasons. A lot of traveling, a lot of games, very few time, or less or lack of time for training. All training is more or less specific, you know? And this is the cancer of modern football and sport preparation time, high performance time. And intuitively, not by knowledge, not by evidence-based, they hire personal staff, isn't it? It comes from needs, and we should understand that. Be open-minded to people outside of organization and try to establish what? The art of our job and our art of life is communication.
Yeah.
If we have good communication, this is not treat, this is something what can make difference in better way.
Totally agree, Igor. And I think that, for example, as you say, education is crucial for the player, because sometimes player has to decide who is the personal coach. So player have to know who are prepared for train them, and who have a good academic and experience level.
Yeah.
And sometimes this comes from the educational approach. So
Totally agree. Totally agree. It's everything is about selection, isn't it? Even in teams. If you have good selection in your private life, starting from your wife or girlfriend, isn't it? Then starting with or continuing with friends. Then selection in team as a head coach. When you when you select your staff members, it's half of your job. Because if you select properly, you don't need to write all rules, because they consider all as a normal ambience for normal work. That is why selection, totally agree with you, selection is number one task in communication skills, in building high performance community.
And it's always the player that's he know that have a criteria to select this fitness coach. And it's crucial for you. I don't know what is the future of football staff organization
for the future. Maybe some kind of synthesis, everything what we were talking about, because all topics we mentioned, all questions you asked me were very, very, very important. And all these topics, from building philosophy to building personal stuff from players, all this range of activities should be carefully designed in every single organization. And let's consider that one player is self or single organization. These two organizations should be like puzzles, you know, and should be accord with each other. But generally, I can say, what is the future? Future will be based on knowledge, will be based on evidence-based or evidence-informed knowledge, research and development, new technology. Yes, very important, but real future. And what will make difference in future? It's about holistic approach. It's about how to make a synergy between all stakeholders to establish harmony based on trust. Let's try to repeat. Holistic approach, integration, how to build synergy based on, or harmony based on synergy, and try to establish a trust. Because if we can design, if we can invent methodology of trust, can you imagine how we can build methodology of trust? How we can build methodology of harmony? Or for example, how we can build or establish methodology for empathy? Can we build empathy? Or it is genetically? Yes, we can. This is the future. Holistic, synergy, harmony, trust, and finally, transdisciplinarity in high performance sport, in high performance development and high performance athletes. Finally, FSI did a fantastic effort, and FSI is doing fantastic effort to support these all ideas. And in close future, I'm pretty sure FSI will take another role, leadership role in worldwide manner in high performance football.
I know you just recorded a class of the FSI Master in Granada this weekend. What do you talk about in this class?
Yes, in these classes, I had two classes. First class is building a high performance system, structure, function, and organization, talking about everything necessary from philosophy and culture to building the role, rules, and responsibilities inside of the high performance system for each single position, and finally to define rules, and finally to find a way how to establish harmony based on synergy. But in second one, communication between staff members in high performance system, in high performance football, we mentioned different topics related to process, challenges, and skills we can use, but mostly these classes have very simple task: how to provoke and inspire people for self-development. That is the sense of whole Football Science Institute. To accept all knowledge, but first of all, to provoke and inspire for excellence. And maybe this word excellence is an important word for everything what is happening in Football Science Institute.
Amazing, Igor. And out of football, what is your favorite sport, and what has that sport provide you for your football daily work?
Yeah, my first sport was basketball.
Yeah,
as I was doing it in professional way, first as a coach and then strength conditioning coach. And I like basketball a lot. And I think basketball, as I said, is very often a game changer in some new topics in world of sport, of top level sport and high performance sport. And even now, basketball is very interesting. I'm a member of EuroLeague Players Association Performance Advisory Board. We are doing some very interesting things and projects related to servicing the best European players in performance and health way. But I have to say, a few years ago, I fall in love in another team sport. It's a rugby. It's something amazing. This sport sending a fantastic messages to all people, to community, to society. We can learn a lot from this sport. We can learn from rugby about respect, about rules, about enthusiasm, about pain tolerance, about commitment and resilience. And how to face with this tough, hard sport. How they behave to each other. For example, I don't know if you know, it's a common place. After the game, both teams are going together to dinner. It's something fantastic. And nobody can speak with the referee than captain. And even him, only with permission. Fantastic. I think we can learn a lot from this sport. All team sports, but not on all team sports. All sports generally can learn from rugby and values rugby provide to sport and to general community.
Yeah, it's a question of culture of any sport. But I know that we can learn about different sports. And this is all, Igor. It will be an honor and a pleasure having you here. Thank you a lot for your contribution to the FSCA community. Thank you to all audience.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your leadership and moderating this fantastic conversation. Obviously, it was inspiring to me. Like always, everything what is related to FSI and fantastic people from all around the world who are engaged in this amazing project. Thank you again, and just to say hello again to everybody wherever they are.
Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.
FSI Talks, where football experts from around the world share practical and updated knowledge with the FSI community.